All right, everybody, welcome back. We're diving deep today into something that I think we all deal with, especially if you're working on Agile teams.
Definitely.
Brainstorming and like how to make it actually work.
Yes.
So our guide for this deep dive is going to be Project Management for Project Managers by Orlando Casabone.
Oh, great book.
And the thing that I think is so interesting is that I think a lot of people think of brainstorming like, oh yeah, just get in a room, throw out a bunch of ideas.
Right.
But there's actually kind of like a right way to do it.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to do it that gets better results.
So let's unpack that a little bit. When we think
Mhm.
about Agile, we always talk about flexibility and responsiveness
Right.
and constant improvement, right?
Exactly.
So where does brainstorming, like, how does it fit into all of that?
Well, it's really about getting the most out of your team.
Yeah.
So Agile is about, being responsive and adapting, but you also want to make sure you're getting all the best ideas out there. And a bad brainstorming session can really limit you.
Because if everyone is just kind of afraid to speak or they're just going along with what
Yeah.
what the loudest person in the room is saying, then you're kind of missing the point.
Exactly. You get that groupthink and you don't get that diversity of thought that you're really looking for in an Agile team.
So how do you actually combat that? Like, how do you, like, if you're at a brainstorming session,
Yeah.
what are some of the things
Yeah.
that you can do to kind of get around that?
Well, one of the things that people think is helpful, but is actually kind of counterproductive is just calling out ideas randomly.
Yeah.
So, you just say, hey, anyone have an idea? And you just get people shouting over each other. And
Yeah.
it seems fair, but
It seems democratic, but it's not really.
yeah, it just doesn't really work out that way.
Because someone might have like this great idea and they're ready to go,
Right.
but then someone else jumps in.
And the conversation goes in a completely different direction. And that person never gets to share their idea.
So then what's a better way to kind of go about that?
Well, going around the room sequentially is actually a really powerful technique.
Really?
Where you give everyone a dedicated time to speak. So instead of it being a competition to be heard, everyone knows, oh, okay, I'm going to get my turn to speak. I'm going to get to share my ideas. And,
So there's that feeling of like, oh, I have to get it out now or I'm never going to get to say
oh,
it.
exactly.
And that's where people talk over each other.
Exactly.
And if you know, okay, I've got 2 minutes or whatever it is,
Right.
then you're like, okay, I can listen. And then I'll get my turn.
And then while other people are talking, you can even be writing down your thoughts. And it kind of, brings out those ideas even more.
Oh, that's so interesting because the source also talks about having everyone write down their ideas first
Yes.
before sharing. So why is that so effective?
Because, some people are really good at thinking on their feet and,
Yeah.
processing verbally, but other people need time to sit and think and really, kind of formulate their thoughts.
Yeah. I'm definitely a writer. I need to like write things out to really understand what I think.
And then when you go around the room and everyone's had a chance to really think through their ideas, you get a much richer,
That's so interesting
set of ideas.
because it's almost like everyone's kind of on a level playing field.
Exactly.
It's not just the people who can think, on their feet really fast.
Yeah, you're not privileging, one communication style over another.
Yeah, it's giving everyone the tools they need to contribute in a way that
Exactly.
makes sense for them.
That works best for them.
That works best for them. And something I thought was really interesting is they were talking about how you can use all kinds of tools
Yes.
for this, like even using like shared documents
Yeah.
or virtual whiteboards.
Absolutely,
Especially
yeah.
if you're working with a team that's,
Remote.
remote or even people who just work at different times,
Exactly.
which is so common now.
Yeah.
It's like, it's almost like it doesn't matter where you are or how you work,
You can still have an effective brainstorming session.
as long as you kind of set up the structure
And think about the tools that work best for your team.
and the tools, right?
Yeah.
So to our listeners out there, I would love to know, like, how would you apply these techniques to your own team?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you think would make brainstorming sessions more productive and more inclusive for you?
What works best for you and your team?
Yeah. And if you want to really dig deeper into these concepts and you want to learn more strategies, I highly recommend checking out Project Management for Project Managers
Yeah.
by Orlando Casabone.
Great book.
That's where we got all these fantastic insights. So until next time, happy brainstorming.
Happy brainstorming.